Back from that short commercial break, and at this particular time we're heading straight to the coffee court. It's exactly 2 minutes past the hour, that's of 8 a.m. and don't forget, Zabu will enable you to invest, that's on Altec Securities, and you'll be in position to purchase stocks at whatever part of the country you will be at. Just 292 hash, and of course a number of options will be available to you, and you'll be selecting government bond securities, all that. And of course you also will be in position to withdraw your money anytime you really feel like you want it back instantly. Star 292 hash, and everything will be in position to serve you like the way it's up to. Do something new, buy securities on Altec at whatever part of the country. The markets open at 8:15 a.m. and they close at 3:15 p.m. That's East African time. And now let's head straight to the coffee court. And this time around, we're looking at the land regulations in Uganda. Quite more of that will be discussed during this coffee court session. And of course, I cannot add anything to that. I can't speak anything regarding that other than letting you review this in the coffee court.
Good evening to you all. You're welcome to the Coffee Pot. This is Smart 24 TV, and I'd like to remind you that we are on GoTV, channel 394, and as well as on DSTV, channel 372. My name is Monica Nabionga, and today we are talking over land issues, land ownership issues. As you know very well that land issues are becoming, should I say, unending song in Uganda, because each and every day there are issues that arise due to land. And today, guess what? I'm with the chairperson of Uganda Land Owners Association, Mr. James Galavuzi. You're welcome to Smart 24 TV.
Thank you very much, Smart TV. It is an honor that you have hosted me today, and I hope that, of course not hoping, but I know this conversation is going to go throughout the entire country.
Good evening to you.
It is an honor that you have hosted me today, and I hope that, of course not hoping, but I know this conversation is going to go throughout the entire country and even internationally, because you are known internationally and you have a big coverage.
Thank you very much. Mr. Galavuzi, for example, if I, as Monica, I want to own land, or I have some piece of, should I say, land still, but I don't have those legal documents that show ownership as a person, what criteria do I go through so that I get the right papers, the right legal papers, not the illegal ones, to own that land?
Owning land is an option. You may prefer not to own land, but to stay on land, or you may prefer to own land.
Really?
Yes. Not everybody is a landowner. Land ownership will take effect in terms of holding title or holding any kind of occupancy on land. In areas of Mairo, we have a landowner who owns a title, registered title, and we have an occupant whom we refer to as a tenant. A tenant, yes. So in these areas, especially in Buganda, some parts of Ankole, some parts of Busoga, and some parts of Bunyoro, there is a Mairo land interest, which has got two owners. Actually, it is a dual owner interest. So the history is a bit long, why it is happening that way. So that would mean land ownership. In areas of customary, yes, it is administered by the cultural settings of that area, and that might give you the ownership because you are known to be owning that land in that respective area.
Okay, you've talked about customary land. What is a customary land?
That's a good question. Land initially, before registrable interests were introduced to Uganda, that was in 1908. Land was owned customarily, and the kings or traditional leaders or cultural leaders were holding that land for their respective subjects. until 1900, when the colonial masters introduced a system of distribution of land, saying the king's land is 350 square miles. The public land, or what you call Maila Kenda or crown land at that time, is 9,000. Now the other, something like 1,000 people who were around that time were given each certain amount of land. And also the chiefs who were in office that time were given what we call private land, private Milo, and also official Milo, meaning that the Kabaka was given land as a person, that is private Milo, and he was given land as an institution, that is official land. And the Katikiro the same, as a person that time, and also as an officer of the Katikiro. And also the other chiefs like Chagwe Sechibobo, who was there, had land as a person and also as an office. The same applied to the chief of Budu, Remezi, call it any name. So we have that private and that Milo, I mean that official Milo. So that's how these things happen. But before, the entire land was administered by the king, all those chiefs in respective areas.
Iris, of late, we've always had issues of land grabbing, not only here in the Buganda region, but the entire country. People are killing themselves day and night due to issues of land. What could be the alarm?
The alarm is actually understandable. We must accept it or not that our population is growing. Statisticians tell us that in 2060 we might be even 60 million plus, you know. Imagine the population is growing, but the land is inelastic. What does that mean? That means that the sitting government must not even have, but must come up with a program to cater for those Ugandans who are going to be around 20 years from now or 30 years from now. Because land is inelastic, but population is growing. That's why you have to have what we call a program for land, for a coexistence. We want to see that land is beneficial to the owner and to the tenant, and in the long run to the government, because the moment land is put to economic use, that means the owner benefits, that means the tenant benefits, that means the government benefits, because it will have revenue. So this system of taxing of idle land is idle land, it is true. But me owning a land title of land which is not utilized, it's not my, my making, my fault. Because I have no money, I have no mechanism to develop it. But if the government comes to assist me to develop that land, I'll be ready and I'll be happy, because land will be developed, my pockets will be happy, and also the government will tax me now, because I'll be in a position to pay the tax because I can afford.
But do you also believe that that system of taxing land, idle land, has led to actually the youth that we see today selling off their land to go into the border businesses and what?
Yeah, partly so, partly. But again, although it is a system that is put by law, it is not actually, you can't implement it. Because you will not come to my home in Rubaga and arrest me because I have not paid you tax for land which I am not using. Yet the government has a mechanism which can assist me to utilize my land economically. For instance, the Uganda Land Owner Association has brought a program, 2 approaches to land use, and it's what we've been saying to the government. Fortunately that government is seeing it, putting land to use. For instance, land in rural areas, we are saying government has the mechanism, has the structures. Why don't we sensitize these people, the landowners, to offer their land for agribusiness? As we speak now, the president recently made a directive to the Ministry of Agriculture to ensure that they go through, they begin farming to address the food insecurity. People in Karamoja are dying because of hunger. But imagine, Uganda has got 2 seasons, and we have fertile land for agriculture. But most of our land is under dispute. People in courts of law, it takes you 15 and whatever years fighting. And after one person winning, most likely the one with the title will win. Now, effecting any order to evict anybody is next to impossible. It's next to impossibility. So that would mean you go to the DPC, they will tell you no, issues of security, you have to go to RDC. You go to RDC, they say no, negotiate. But 15 years I'm fighting. I've spent money as landowner. And the tenants, all supporters, as Rudy referred to, are given pro bono lawyers free of charge. But I'm supposedly rich person as landowner, so for me I have to pay my lawyers. So after all that struggle, now you tell me we have to negotiate. It is actually cumbersome. So what we are saying, government should come up with a program to sensitize the masses about the need to coexist for economic inclusion. Am I clear?
Yes.
Give these guys systems, tractors, blah, blah, blah. Make an MOU between the tenant, the landowner, and even the government, and go into contract farming. Get the point?
Yeah.
I offer my land because I have no resources. You bring your resources, develop it, grow coffee, grow maize, and you have a share pattern. Since you as government, you put in a lot of money to develop the land.
But when you look at the corruption level in Uganda,
I'll give you a bigger percentage. It is possible because this is business. I have my title documented. I survey off, you open the boundaries, and you do the business. Actually, I'll be one of the people to do the work, the on-site work, because that is my land. You bring the mechanism, we grow maize. At harvest, we go with our share pattern. You put in efforts, resources, take 60%. I take 40. And because 40 will be very big for me to manage, I will tell you, give me money in terms of, instead of giving me the hard crops. And in the long run, I will be happy. I will pay income tax because I'm receiving money. Government benefits through taxes, and also we benefit through food security. Get the point?
Yes.
So that is one way we can handle. Last time I was in Nagasaki district, I met landowners who had 33 square miles underutilized because they have no resources. One person having 6 square miles underutilized. So we have to change our trajectory and think about how we can economically make our land to use, put our land to use. In urban areas, I'll give you an example. KCCA has got fantastic plans of developing Katwe, developing Chisenyi, developing in Zambia, but land is encumbered. If land is encumbered, how can we put it to economic use? So we are suggesting, let us introduce a condominium structure. By this we mean, I offer my land, 30 decimals in Katwe. You bring to me somebody who's going to develop it. We get a land valuer, a government valuer, to say my land is worth 2 billion shillings. And the project that's going to be on this land is worth 40 billion shillings. Now this development agent will go into a partnership agreement between me and him, and the government as a big brother. They develop my plot of land, and I get my units, which are worth 2 billion shillings. In the long run, initially I had a one room and somewhat a not so good house, but now I'm going to be given developed units where I can accommodate my family, even I can rent, or even I can sell, because condominium means that you can even own space. You own floors. Development agent, of course, wants these downflows because of business. I don't mind. Now I want floors for accommodation. I have my lift, take me up. So in the long run, I will be a better Ugandan than before. So these are approaches that government should consider as a big stride, a bigger stride to address the issue of land. Those masses will be now, if you constructed the high rise, that means you're going to accumulate more Ugandans than a bungalow which takes only 3, 4, 5, just one family, you know. And there is an economic inclusion because I'll be gaining rents out of my units and I'll be having good accommodation. Okay. This is what we are saying to government.
As a landlord, because this association is for landowners, as a landlord, what criteria do you go through to put away the tenants on your land?
Actually, we had a challenge when we were registering our association in 2007. The challenge was, should we call ourselves landlords or landowners? And we zeroed down to landowners. Reason being that landlords may mean people own structures. Landlords. I'm owning an arcade in town, so I'm a landlord. An apartment. But landowners, our interest is basically on land. So we are not advocating for evictions of people from land. We are advocating for a peaceful coexistence on land with an economic inclusion. People having land, but it's underutilized. Yes. Government wants land to develop it. So how can we have this win-win situation? Yes. That's what we are advocating for. Offer land, offer equipment, develop land. For instance, Uganda, given 2 seasons, it is rare. Maybe because of the equator, maybe because of our God-given land. But if Uganda is well organized, you can have a land bank. Land bank. We say now go now to produce maize, produce coffee, and in the long run we can even, by the way, be a food basket for the entire East African community. If you look at South Sudan, their land is bad. You know, if you look at Kenya, yes, partly, but also they need much of maize from this area. Some time back, we had requests from Zimbabwe and Zambia. Tons and tons of maize were required in Zambia, but we couldn't beat the market. Why? I was in Gulu and Lira in the month of June. One school was telling us, one headmistress, that they buy more than 40 tons of maize, but they buy it from Congo. Why? Because land is not being put to usage. Just imagine that money going to Congo. Yet it would have benefited people within that area, within the Guru area. You get to the point?
Yes.
So we have to have this mindset change to see that our land is put to economic gain.
All right. There is a proposal that Catherine Bamugemerere presented to the
Justice.
President. Yes, Justice Catherine Bamugemerere presented to President Museveni over land management issues. As an association, do you agree that it will give a milestone to landowners in Uganda?
I can't make any statement on the Justice Bamugemerere's commission report because I've not come across it. I am still looking for it, but I was one of the people who went before that commission 2 times. I don't know whether my suggestions were incorporated in the report, I don't know. But I remember one thing I raised was that there is a lot of backlog in the judiciary, and you find the cases taking more than 10 whatever years to be adjudicated. And also the other challenge was to do with our judicial officials, that some complaints are not well handled by the Judicial Service Commission. And my point was that we should see that the chairperson of that commission is a person of the Chief Justice to see that he or she can put to order any judicial official. As we speak now, is a High Court judge who is chairing that commission. So, a High Court judge can't put to order a fellow High Court judge. He can't put to order a Court of Appeal judge. So it should be the most top office of the judiciary to chair that commission. And that was my prayer, and I'm going to make actually a petition to Parliament to see that that issue is addressed, to see that the commission, the Judicial Service Commission, is chaired by the Chief Justice himself, or deputy at that level. So those are some of the hindrances of our issues. Because if I go to court, I don't get proper guidance, and I am shunned away, and I'll be a bit ostracized, and I'll give up.
Okay, as landowners, how do you see the new technology of storage of land titles?
That is a good question. Some time back, we had a manual system.
Yes.
And government introduced a new system, land information system, which is good. But the challenge with it, of course, anything good will have some challenges. One of the challenges is that the system will show you a proprietor as at that time. And some of the proprietors are actually fraudsters.
Yeah.
You'll find someone who sold somebody's land, but the system is reflecting him or her as the current proprietor. That is legalistic. Doesn't show that there is a battle. Someone is fighting to cancel that ownership. So system should go to an extent of also reflecting this land has some encumbrances with the court system. Please take note of this. Am I clear?
Yes.
It shows you this land belongs to X, and you buy from X. Now it will show you now it is belonging to Y, but yet someone is fighting that ownership, and you end up in hot soup. You bought land that was incumbent. The other issue is that they should introduce a message alert structure, that once any plot of land is being tampered with, now the owner gets a message. It is not there. So you can be in Imbarara, you have land in Jinja. After 5 years, you find land has gone into different people's names. And now the law will talk about bona fide purchaser for value without notice. What does that mean? I am the third person. I bought from X, X bought from Y, Y bought from Z. So me as Chu, I'm not aware of that fraud, and the law will protect me. Now what does that mean? The actual owner is going to lose. But why should this person lose? Because you never alerted him that your land is being tampered with. Yeah, so these are issues we should address. And I propose that we could go back to the old system of search. The old system, they would bring the white page, which would show the current owner and the other former owners, being cancelled then up to the current owner. That system was good, that at least you can have, where to begin from. Today, if you make a search, they give you only one page, just showing you the current owner and the status of that land, incumbent or not incumbent. So, something is missing.
Okay, lastly, as we wind up, me as a person, for example, if I want to buy land, what criteria, what are those strategic things that I should look at before spending my money there?
I have been advising Ugandans. I have written articles in New Vision about, and even booked about land transactions. My advice is as follows. Do a search in the land registry as a formality. But again, dig deep. If you can, access the Kalamazoo, a book which reflects all transactions on that land. If you can, get those details. If you can, get a copy of the white page to show you who are the former holders and the current holders, and the status of that land. Right?
Yes.
And if you can, inquire within the land registry the status of that land in question. Is there any family issues? Is there any whatever? That will give you good standing point, decision making. And also, go to the ground at night and ascertain the status of that land. People will tell you, my friend, this
from
land,
the
neighborhood,
Okay.
not even LOCs, because usually LOCs are part of the problem.
As some of the people actually that are
Yeah,
causing us
they're part of the
problems.
problem, because an LOC will get money from you, get money from the owner,
owner.
get money from you. So, but go and ask the local people. They will say that land belonged to a late so and so, and the so and so. Now the proper person is called so and so. So you begin to compare notes. Is this person being talked about the person who is on the title land registry? Yes or no? They will tell you this land has been in the courts of law for the past
some
whatever
time.
years. You just have to run away. I have seen people buying land from the lawyers' offices because lawyers usually just end with land registry, doing the search. Now he will tell you, you pay. Land belongs to him. And at times, the one who is selling is referred to as a vendor. At times, he's even having an identity card made at NASA, reflecting same names of the title holder. He's going to get his 50 million and vanish. By the time you want to go to regularize your occupancy, the actual owner now surfaces. So this land is mine. Get to the point.
Yes.
So you gave money to a fraudster who was smart to have documents rhyming with the title registrations. But yet the actual owner is different, who can surface at any time. So you have to be very careful when you are transacting. Land office, yes, go there, ascertain the details, but again go to the ground
Go
and
to
do
ground and do
your
some
investigation. Groundwork. Or what you call due diligence. Then you shall have some good land.
All right, thank you, Mr. Galauzi, for your time, and
Thank
thank you
you.
for educating the nation.
Thank you very much.